In the previous videos, we have seen different types of action links, then how to change an action link from one column to another column, how to add a return button, how to make a conditional action link. Today we'll cover few topics. First, the topic among all is how to copy the column format style to another column. So what happens is, let's say you want same formatting of the column in terms of data, or how the column should appear, like having a background color or border or whatever. So that format style, you don't need to repeat for each column. Instead, once we do all the settings, we just can go to the copy option and repeat it for all the columns that we require. So and it saves a lot of time. So we'll see how to do it. So just we have, if in previous video we have made invoice detail analysis, so just click edit under it. After that, in the criteria tab, we have selected columns area. In that you have the column name, property, or sorry um, supplier or party name, and just beside the column we have a settings icon. Go to settings icon and click on column properties. After that, we have 5 tabs: column style tab, then we have column format, conditional format, data format, and interaction. So in the column style tab, in the font section, let's say I am changing certain like size, style, and color. Maybe the background color is like orange. And once I've done all these, now click copy in the style tab. So in the same column style tab, you have a copy option. How does it look? We'll see. Let's say you have this column. We've gone to column properties, and you have 5 tabs: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tabs here. So this is first. My first is column style tab is open. So in the top you have a copy option, or in this side usually you have a copy option. So now click on copy in the style tab. It has the same navigation, and click the next again. Once you do copy, we click on OK, and then we come back in the selected column section in the criteria tab. So again I am going to invoice type name here. I am going to column properties, same navigation, column style type. Here then I have a paste icon there. So in the style type itself, you have a copy paste option for copying the entire column format style. We click on OK and we'll save. Same thing, if you want to, instead of the styling of the column, like what data appears in the column, like the size, style, or the color, if we want to do any changes for the numeric or date values, what we do is we go to data format tab. So just like I said, we have column style, column format, then we have data format, then we have conditional format, and then we have interaction. So in the data format tab, go and change any the styling for one column. Let maybe the it could be any kind of data, like maybe the date values or the currency, what kind of selector we want to do, uh, the 1000 selectors, or the how many decimal values post the decimal we want to have. So all these things can be like for example, currency, how you want to show the decimal values, how you want to show the 1000 separators, how do you want to show the negative values, and how do you want to show the numbers as numbers or maybe decimal values. We have previously discussed how to check, like how to do these settings. And in the data format tab, now instead of the column tab, we change for all the data that you want to change for numeric and date values. We click on OK and save. Now again we'll go to style tab. For copying, you have to go to style tab and click on copy and paste it in another column in the style tab of that particular column. So irrespective of what changes you do in all these, copying thing can be done using the column style tab. Uh, and the next topic is column selector. So basically I'll just try to explain what is a column selector. Uh, Now let's say you have uh, three values: uh, invoice type, uh, name. Then you have a supplier. I'm trying to just, I'll show an output and tell you what is this. Let's say you have a ABC title. I have invoice type name. I have supplier type, and I have site, supplier site. So these will be my column selector values, and there will be an output. So based on what column I am selecting, not the column value. I am not selecting here. See, in the column prompt, what happens is I drag drop a particular column and it acts as parameter. So whatever value is based on that particular column, let's say I have invoice type name. So based upon what is the value of invoice type name, my output changes for column prompt. But here in column selector, what happens is I am not giving, I'm the values aren't the column values, it's the column name itself. So I can give multiple columns here, the column names here, and depending upon that particular column name that I'm selecting, the output changes in accordance to that. So let's say if I am selecting invoice type name, then my column output would be the values will be based on, or whatever the output comes, it based on invoice type name. If I select supplier type, then my output would be based on supplier type. If I select site, then my output would be based on the particular site. uh, so here let's see what so let's say I have in the output, I'm assuming I have invoice amount paid, and column cancelled amount, and I have other all the selected column values. So the output will be based on depending on which column I am selecting, not the column value. I am selecting a column name here. So you can have multiple column names here, and depending upon which column you select, the respective column, uh, the dependent output would be coming here. So for this, I'll use the BI analysis editor method. We'll go to tools, reports analytics, browse calc, then we'll go to new, and I'm selecting here. We have to scroll for new. Whenever I use BI analysis editor, we have to scroll for the whatever subject area I want. So payable invoices, transaction real time. I'm scrolling this till, and then I'll click on this, and the uh, once my subject area and my tool opens here, I'll in the criteria tab, uh, we have to drag drop certain columns. Okay, so in invoice details, from this I'll expand, and I'll go to invoice details, general information. In general information, I'll select invoice type name, and in invoice amounts, I'll select three values: invoice amount paid, and cancelled amount. Again, in now I'll go to results tab. I'll click on uh, so this is how it looks. See, let me show. Mm, okay, I'll just show it later. So in the first, in the criteria tab, I'm selecting all the columns that I need. In this results tab, I'll go to this icon with like a bar, and we'll just go to this graph icon and go to other views and select the column selector one to create a column selector. So here below my output, in the results tab, the column selector section appears. Here what we do is we'll just select and drag drop this section, CS section, just below the uh, my title. Okay, if whatever title you give, just drag, because why I need is just to increase the readability. Okay, so once just below the title, depending upon what value you select, here usually this appears below the output, so you need to drag drop the section just below the title, uh, so that once you select according to the output comes here, and it's easy to read, and instead of down, you can just keep it dragged up to just below the title section. uh, okay, once I did the drag drop, I'll click on edit in that column selector section. After that, this is how it looks. First one is you have a checkbox for include selector. So you have column 1, column 2, column 3, all the column names. This is how it looks for first column, for second column, for third column, for whatever the columns are. It has a checkbox for include selector. After that, you have the column name. What is my column name? This is the number and this is the column name. So here I have invoice type name, I have invoice uh, invoice amount paid, and cancelled amount. So for all it comes. So this is by default because I have checked here. So whatever the name you want, for like invoice type name, I want to be included in the selected. So include selector, just check this checkbox. After this, okay, now again you have few more things, like just below this you have okay, select one. Okay, once you give the label name, any particular label, custom label name that you want to give. This is my column name for the backend, but label name is what it appears there. Okay, so once you select this column selector checkbox, something comes below the label. Okay, a choices field comes here. In the choices field, you have already made a choice of invoice type name, so it already comes in the choices box. Now to add few more, like supplier type and site in the column selector, we'll go to subject area section, we'll go to supplier and double click on supplier type. Again we'll go to supplier site and double click on site. Now once you do the double click, both appear in this section. Either if they are already if you double click, if they are already have the include selector section here, they'll if you do the double click, then it will be all like automatically selected. Otherwise what you can do is do the normal drag drop in the criteria section, and then when you do the drag drop in the criteria section, again two more columns are added here. So these supplier type and site are added, and you can click on include selector. Just this you can click on this include selector checkbox just beside the supplier type and site. Now you have three values here: invoice type name, invoice supplier type, and supplier site in here. Okay, so this is my column selector. This is how it looks. Select any one and you have the column names here. Now this is done. We'll go to results tab, and above the out and just below the title, this is how it looks. Select any one, and my values come as either supplier type or supplier site or invoice type name, whatever. Any one value can be selected. Now we'll go to criteria tab again. We'll go to filter section, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to add a filter. In the filter section, just below the selected column section, you have something like this, a filter icon. Click on more columns, click on supplier and supplier type. I'm trying to, let's say if you have some standard names, this is not required. It's just one of the, I don't know if I have previously given an example for filter, so I'm just giving it. This thing has nothing to do with the selector. We have already done the column selector. You go to criteria tab, you select all the columns, then we go to results tab, click on graph, other views, and column selector. All the columns come, then we drag drop just below the title, and you click on edit, and you have to select this include selector checkbox. So as soon as it is done, all the things come as this select anyone invoice type name or invoice whatever the column selector values we want to include. Now few more things I am doing here is I am trying to put a filter for the supplier type. So I don't want the supplier type to start from XX. So I'll go to filter section in the criteria tab. We'll go to filter section, then we'll click on this icon, filter icon, then more columns, supplier type. We'll select the supplier type. I have the column operator and value. Supplier type is not like XX percentage. Okay, so you have and I am saving the report now. Now in the column, this is my column selector supplier invoice report. This is the name of my report, and in the results tab you have a icon with something like a specs, and the icon looks like this. Click on this, and this is the layout icon basically. So in the results tab, go to layout icon and click on default. Now it gives me the default layout. uh, just a moment. Okay, few more things that I want to do here is here I don't know how to show this, just a moment. mm, okay, now below the uh, table showing the results tab can be found. Okay, so okay, so here you have below the this is how my this looks. Here CRAP 4 tabs are there, criteria, results, then you have advanced and results, CRAP. Okay, just above it you have all the subject areas selected. Okay, below the subject areas there is something called as catalog. So anything, any kind of object that you create, it could be a view, it could be title, table, a column selector, a view selector, a graph, all these things come under views. So where is it present? The table shown in the result tab can be found below the subject area left area subject area left area below the catalog in views. So you have below subject areas you have catalog, and below that you have views. So in views you can find select here title, table. I haven't added a graph here, so that's why the graph is not present. Title is there, table is there, you have a column selector here, right? So whatever objects you add more, view selector or all these things, that also come here. Now now go to views, go to table. We'll go to views and table and click on this icon, and you have an option to rename a view. Okay, you will give the view name, whatever view name you want to rename. View is nothing but basically whatever the view type is there, that's why you have written as rename view. Whatever you select, either if you select the title, then it will rename the title. If you select the table and click on this icon, it will rename the table. Or if you rename the column selector, then it will rename you select column selector and then click on rename view, it will rename that particular object. Because all these come under view, that's why I have given as rename view. So you have to give a view name here. Okay, this is one thing to rename, how to rename it, any object. Then okay, in the main output, wherever the table is present, so you have a title, you have a column selector, and you have a table in the results tab, right? So in the results tab there are two things present. One is we'll see how in beside table you have a format container. This is how it looks. Title, then you have a edit icon, and you have a format container. Then you have a table, the table structure, then you have edit, you have a format container like this, like in a closed space, and you have something called as ABC, which is view properties. So each one of it has different things to do, like in here I can, once you click on edit, we can move uh, the any table column to any, like excluded section or section, or uh, to to the section area, to prompt area, to table excluded. So that you can do here. For format container, we can change the border. These are few things that you can do in the format container, like you can change the border. Then you have additional formatting options like left padding, right padding, top padding, and bottom padding. You can change the values. This is in the output, like just beside the table you have these three: format container, view properties, or edit. Now in the view properties, what we can do is we can change the style. We'll go to style, and we'll click on row styling area in enable alternate styling. For rows to be like to be more to increase the visibility, like it will be something like one color is in gray, one row is in gray, one is in white, another one is in gray, again white, again gray, so that the visibility increases for the row values. Okay. Then we can change the background color of the cells. We can enable the alternate row styling. This I have shown. We can repeat the column values. We can export to PDF. I'll show how to do it. So my navigation is edit under the OTBI report. Name, go to results tab. Title, as I shown, format container, edit, format container, view properties, and edit for the table. Okay. So in the format container, we have cell values. Once you click on this, you have cell. In that cell section, in that you have background color, so you can select any color and save. Then in the style tab, this is my view properties. So in the view properties, in the style tab, just a second, there are multiple things that can be done. First one is this row styling. I have enabled in the style tab, have enabled alternate styling. This was first. Second thing is in the style tab, what we did is in the data viewing section, you have row styling. So this is same thing. This is the same thing in the row styling section. Enable alternate styling. First thing. Second is you can repeat the cell values, and just beside it you have a edit icon. Now I am alternating the styling, row styling, right? So you can click on this icon just below beside this, and we'll go to alternate row format. You can change the background color here. So meaning, let's say if you have by default gray white, then you can change it to maybe pink and white, and so you can change these colors. Then we have third thing is we can do display the folder headings and column headings. To change any folder heading name or column heading name, we can do this. We can select, it will show me 4 values: only column headings, separate rows, as folder dot column, as folder dot column, whenever needed. So any one of things can be chosen for displaying the folder and column heading name. So here what does it mean by folder and column heading is, so let's say you have here, let's say you have invoice amount, right? So invoice amount is my you have taken invoice amount twice, and for one thing you want to change any formula. After that you also want to change the heading name, the column name, so that can be done here. And how it should be displayed, that is decided here. So sorry, how it should be displayed is decided here. Once you click on column format, there itself you have a value for changing the, we have previously seen value just above the value suppression. We have seen the column heading and folder heading name change there. So but how it should be displayed, what format is it can be given here. uh, so now how does it, what is the column and what is the folder heading? Column heading is this one, invoice amount, whereas my folder heading would be general information, from which folder it is coming. Okay, sorry, for it will be invoice amounts here. For invoice type name, my column heading is this. For folder heading, it would be general information. If you observe, if we use any column, drag drop any column for the column formula, it usually takes the heading name, and then even though it has like multiple layers of uh, like inside, maybe in invoice details here, see here in invoice details, then the general information comes, then invoice type names comes, right? So just whatever the column name is, just above whatever the dimension name is present, that comes as folder heading, and the column itself is the column heading name. Okay, what else? Yeah, and how to export it to PDF is like uh, besides uh, in the results tab, you have beside refresh and print, you have something called just a moment. Yeah, you have an option to print. Okay, so here you can click PDF and Excel. So it's just beside the refresh and print options. uh, yeah, I think a few more things that I needed to cover was, again you have two things I want to discuss, few more things in view properties and container format container. So let's say you have an output and you want to see the horizontal scroll bar and vertical scroll bar in the output. So you have a huge output and you don't want to see it in the one page, and so you want to have uh, uh, fixed header, like the size is fixed with the scrolling content or the scrollers, or otherwise you have only certain number of let's say rows attached to be printed per page. So how do you do it? We click on open under any OTBI report name. In the results tab, let's say if the output needs to be scrolled horizontally or vertically, or to see the complete output. Okay, then what we can do is we can increase the viewer. Currently you have a scrolling bar, but you want to see the entire output without the scrolling. So what we can do is I can increase the view and canvas size. So click edit under the analysis name, results tab, go to preview, go to default alta, the report is opened. Okay, now you have, let's say you have a vertical scroll bar and horizontal scroll bar here. To remove these scroll bars in the report output, what we do is we go to view properties in the table area. So just beside table you have view properties, you have edit, you have format container, right? So you have something like this is my table output, and you have edit, you have format container, and you have view properties. So you click on this ABC or XYZ, this view properties, go to style tab, then in the data viewing section you have either you this here you click fixed content with the scrolling uh, uh, fixed header with the scrolling content, right? So right now it has fixed header with the scrolling content, but I don't want these scrolls right now. So what I'll do is I'll add maximum width or maximum height accordingly, like whichever I want to remove, I'll add more width and height here. Okay, we'll see the content paging as well later. Another option is I can also go to format container. Okay, in the table area, again in the format container here, I can click that, and in the format container you have add formatting options. Okay, this is my format container. You go to you click on this icon. Initially we saw this by increasing the maximum width and height using view properties. Now I'm telling you about the format container. So in the format container, uh, additional formatting options. Here are again given. So this is another option. Okay. After that, initially also here also I have shown how to do the padding. If you want to do right, bottom, top, left padding, again these options are given in the format container. This icon. Okay. Uh, so So what does padding do? Basically, like if your output is looking like this, it doesn't have any, my column values don't have any space between the borders, it will add for left and right padding. If you add something like 50-50 or 100-100, whatever is required, so it will show some space between the borders of my output and my column values, between the view and the container. Okay, then this thing, how to navigate from summary report without a return button, we have seen previously in the previous video. What else is there? Okay, so few more things I wanted to share. Just a moment. Let's say now my analysis has multiple action links. Okay, my summary analysis has different action links. Now in that case, if it has only one entry for action link, then you need not to display a pop-up. Sometimes it's okay like to not display, like to give a name. But if you have multiple action links, then one for maybe let's say same, let me explain. You have output, summary output, you have one C1 column, any one column, you have values here. So each entry will be acting as an action link, but it might, for the same every single entry in this column might be acting as a hyperlink to multiple reports. Okay, not only single report. So if it be doing that, then it is compulsory you give a pop-up text there, that for what you want to do, for invoice details, or for maybe payment details, or whatever the next report you want to drag, right, through, or you want to, like for whichever report you want to go through this, by clicking on this value of this particular column, and this will act as link to drag, drill down to the next report. So it could be multiple reports as well. In that case, you have to compulsorily give the text name there. Okay, but if it's not the case, then how to remove the text name? We'll go to edit under the summary analysis criteria tab. You have the whichever. So initially I have created a, in previous videos I have created in party name or supplier name. I have created an action link. Go to settings, column properties, interaction. Now it already has one entry for the existing action link in the action links table. Okay, now here it looks like this. You have a column for primary interaction, you have a column heading, you for primary interaction you have a value. Here we choose action links and we create the action links in the previous video. So in the here now I'm opening an existing action link, right? So in the interaction tab you already have a table like this. Okay, you have a plus icon here, you can create more action links as well, but you already have an entry. Okay, here in just bottom of this table you have do not display, just a second, do not display in a pop-up if only one action link is available at runtime. So you can just check this checkbox if you do not want to display a pop-up. How did we display a pop-up was when we created on this action link values we had to select as action link, right? Once you select that and we click on plus, a tab would open, a small box would open, and there link text was my pop-up where I wrote that what need to be done or what does this link does to view the payment details or to view the invoice details or whatever the pop-up does. Okay, so that's how we did it. Okay. Okay, now we can have multiple action links for the same field or each entry of the supplier or party name, and based upon that will be based upon conditions. Okay, so each of the action will be based upon a certain condition. Let's say you have invoice amount less than something, then you will go to one report. If you have some invoice amount, or sorry, if you have for a specific party name, you will that will navigate to one report. If you have a party name in XYZ, then it will navigate to another report, detailed report. It navigates based upon the conditions. It will navigate to different analysis. So current thing I did find invoice details. This was my pop-up text. For multiple action links, it will have multiple pop-ups. Okay, and you can choose any one and click on that. Because here there is only one action link, we can disable the pop-up by checking the about checkbox. This one is the checkbox. Once you go to interaction tab in the column properties of that particular column for which you have created an action link, just below the action link table you have here, this is the position, just below the action link table you have a checkbox, do not display a pop-up if only one action link is available at runtime. This is you have to do and save. Now the last one topic is here is how to add a new measure in the BI analysis. Let's say you have certain measures like number of in the suppliers, for example, you already have some supplier counts. In the supplier counts you have number of supplier sites and number of suppliers. So apart from that, if you want to make a new measure by the user, then how to or you want to make a custom measure and how to do it. We'll go to tools, reports, analytics. We'll using here BI analytics editor method. Okay, we are going to, then we'll go to browse catalog, new analysis. We'll scroll to the analysis. Here I am taking an example of GL transactional balance real time one, and I am adding beginning balance, period net activity from the base. Okay, and in the results tab, we'll go to results tab. Then we will click on new measure column. Okay, just beside this is the one which we use to create a folder, to create a view, to create a view selector or column selector, or to add a we go to other views and we can add text, static text there. Static text was used to add a script for return button. So this is the one that you basically use for multiple things, for view selector, column selector, to add the static text, to add a folder, to add a table and other things. Okay, so you have icon something like you have a page and then plus. This is the icon for new measure. Okay, we'll click on that and this a pop-up opens, new calculated measure column formula. You have a folder heading, meaning and you have a column heading. Now I am creating a new measure, so I am creating an ending balance is my name. Okay, and folder heading, you can add any folder heading, like in you have added by default this in the transactional GL transactional balance real time, base was my table name, or rather I would say dimension. So in the dimension I took beginning balance and period net activity, right? So you can add folder heading as base itself, or if you want to add it to another dimension, then you can add the dimension name here, just, but it should be just above the column name, okay? Because beginning balance was there, so I am adding ending balance also in the base, okay? Now here you have something, a checkbox called as custom heading also, okay? Because you want to make sure this is a custom heading, so you have to click on this, okay? And after that you have a formula area open. Here what you do is you have subject areas on the left side, okay? You drag drop here all the columns, and you have lot of things here. We'll see what things in the bottom you have. So what I'm doing is, I'm first of all from base, I'm selecting beginning balance and dragging drop here, then I'm clicking on the operator, then again from base I'm taking period net activity, and I do a drag drop here, okay? And click on OK and save. So what else you have here, you can do all the, click on the columns from here, otherwise you can see the columns from here as well, okay? In the lower bottom area you have, first is operator. So for the plus operator I have clicked the operator thing. It usually is represented by plus. Then you have column to again select the any column. You have a filter, then you have a function if you want to add any sum or aggregate or any kind of you want to add a case if or while or whatever the functions. Then you have for variable. So in the column formula, column formula, wherever you, when you click on edit formula, by going to column properties, after the settings I can just beside the column name, this area opens basically. So for measure as well, once you click on this icon in the results tab, uh, same thing opens, and you can do just like the column formula. So these are a few things which I wanted to add. We will continue the rest of the lives with view properties and creating dashboards and other topics. That's all for today.